D.Rose Jr. I go by D.Rose. I'm a recording artist out of Providence, Rhode Island. And yeah, music's my passion, my drive. You know, like as we talked before, you know, I just got a passion for it. Driven by my dad's loss of my dad and all that. You know, that kind of changed me as a person. I kind of went into it just for fun. You know, I was going through some things in life, and then my boy Matt and Nate Achilles, he's my engineer. They used to always make music, so I was always around them. When I was in school, Matt would pick me up, we'd go, and I just kind of watched them make music, and just I would sit there and just like, yo, it's kind of cool. So I mean, I had things going on in life, and I loved basketball. I still do, but I felt like I needed something different to get
Yeah,
into something new and pick up a new hobby. And it ended up being one day I was with them and I go, hey, you guys care if I make a song? And like, no, go ahead. So I mean, first song was really terrible, but they kind of always supported me and gave me that like keep going with it. And I mean, I fell in love with it ever since. So without them, I'm not sitting here right now.
that's what's up, man, and I really appreciate that. And I think, thanks for like just sharing your story, because I know it's unique, and I know you definitely have a story that people need to hear, especially the way that you express yourself on the track and how you get through those lines and those bars and those melodies, and the conviction and the confidence that you have in your voice is really dope. I wanted to ask you, like, how is it being like almost like a bilingual artist? Because I do hear some of the Spanish and the American in it, and I don't know Spanish at all, but it sounds dope. Like one of those tracks that I heard, like it was fresh.
Nate actually tells me the same thing. I'll be in there recording something. He goes, I can't even like guide you on what to say. It sounds dope. I don't know what you're saying, but just keep doing that. So yeah, I mean, I like doing it. When I first started making music, I didn't really incorporate it as much. My dad was always like, you have a gift. You can speak two languages. That comes in handy, you know, in work or whatever you do, because people, you know, especially Spanish people, are always speaking it now. It's growing in the country. So just to have that makes you more valuable. It's just a tool. So why don't you use it in your music? And I would always go, you know what you're talking about. Like, no, I don't need that. No one's gonna listen to that. No one's gonna care. You know, I'm not even that good with my Spanish. But he always gave me that like confidence. I mean, the biggest regret I had is not doing it all the time when he was here, and that's something I want people to know. Like, cherish your family, cherish your loved ones, because one moment we're sitting here, and God forbid one of us could be gone next day. So you don't know that, but I know he's constantly there, and he's looking down on me, watching me, and you know, giving me that drive. And I think he's putting things into place, manifesting things, speaking things into existence. And all these things are just happening for me. And it just makes me kind of excited to see what 2 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road leads to. And so that's,
Definitely. Definitely. And I appreciate that perspective. And I think that when in life we all need to we go through adversity and we go through challenges that build character and build resiliency. And I see how that's kind of been able to shape and mold you to the man that you are. And even just like some of the conversations that we've been having, like you're so down to earth, you're so humble, and you're just so like just joyful. You always with a smile on your face and everything like that. So I really wanted to dive into kind of like how family, I know you said like your family has impacted your music, but how has like the friends around you like impacted how you kind of go about the 9 to 5 and the music grind as well?
being with Nate. So Nate, I actually didn't know until my boy Matt, who's like my best friend since 10th grade. And I would say, man, like Nate, I mean, I've grown closer with him because I'm constantly in here, constantly. And my girlfriend's actually here too. She's been a big supporter of me. But sometimes I know I would get on her nerves. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to Nate's again. Oh, here we go again. We got plans. But I mean, I think she sees how passionate I am about it, and like how much I care about it. And so I think that kind of helps, have the right support system around me. And Swift, I've known since college, randomly through another friend. It just, everything played its role. And Swift, I know he says I got him into the studio and whatnot, and he appreciates that. And I mean, but I already knew, he was destined to be something great. He's out there doing his thing, man. He wanted me to go down to Miami with him, and I was like, I can't leave where I'm going right now.
Yeah,
I'll come visit. I'll come visit. But,
exactly.
but he's out there. He's doing his thing, man, and I'm proud of him. He's growing. his cousin got into it, and like, so it's kind of fun being able to do something with your friends and hopefully can turn it into a career, you know, because the 9 to 5, it's important, you know. Lesson I was raised was going into school, you know, school is important, you know, you need to have a plan B, but plan B would be, you know, if things don't work out, but why not chase that plan A? Why can't I do it? Why
Exactly.
see
No,
all these
definitely.
people, you know, you see all these people that are out there, and what makes me different? Like my dad used to say, my parents, both my parents say, you know, why not you? You know, everyone puts their pants on the same way you do, so it's just about how bad you want it. So I mean, a 9 to 5 is definitely really important. You know, it invests, it literally gives me the tools to be able to, you know, pay for to develop my brand and whatnot. Because I mean, it's a business. You know, you need to put in to get something. Nothing gets handed to you for free. So that's pretty much how I look at it.
Totally respect that. I think that that's really a dope perspective, and I think that that's what a lot of artists in the industry today are missing, because they try to make music that main grind and that main hustle, and then they forget about just how multi-dimensional they can be when they actually put their mind to different things and allow it to kind of create a collective vision. So I wanted to kind of tap into just how that vision has been able to allow you to put Rhode Island on the map. Like, I mean, I definitely see some of the scenery in your video shoots, and I see just, you know, how artistic and creative you are with it. I think you had a feature with it was a statue, or I don't know if it was in Rhode Island, and you put like I think the guy that was on the feature put a joint in one of the statues. It was just so funny.
That's
I
because
was, yeah, I was like,
guy.
wow.
Yeah, he's a funny dude. He funny story how I met him actually. When I first met him, and my girlfriend, we were at a party with a couple of guys that make music too, and he was there, and we were waiting for he was waiting for his boy. It turned out to be my boy later on, but he was like, yeah, man, do you mind giving us a ride to this next party? And I was like, yeah, go ahead, come on. So he hopped in the car. We went and waited for his boy, and then, you know, all of us became boys after that. But yeah, he's a funny dude. He saw that statue, man. We were at Roger Williams Park in Rhode Island, and he said, you know, we should do something with that. And so he hopped on there. The camera guy is my boy Devin, a good family friend. I've known him. And my brother went to kindergarten together and been friends. My brother's 21 now, so put it that way. But yeah, it's cool. Like, he's a funny dude. Devin, I mean, I give him full control over my videos. You know, I'm a strong believer in, like, you know, your craft. You're good at what you do. I'm gonna trust you. I put that out there for you. Go, you get full reins over it. You direct this, and he's pulled through for me. So, mad respect to him, Trevor, everybody. So.
That's phenomenal, man, and I appreciate that, because it's good to have friends and family that build you and help you kind of like put life into perspective of the man that you want to become. And I think that that's awesome. I definitely wanted to tap into like purpose, because I think you definitely have went through some things, but you also achieved some things that could give you a greater purpose, and that insight could be useful to anyone that's listening or watching this when, you know, we post it. So, what's some insight that you could give a young man that's in your position that wants to do what you're doing?
So kind of going back to your 9 to 5 question, I mean, I think for me, it's be my own boss. Like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life working for somebody else. I mean, some people, it's for some people, but for me personally, I don't think so. I like doing what I want to do. If I want to do this, you know, and I control when I'm working, everything's up to me. If I want to go on tour, I go on tour. If I don't feel like it, I don't feel like it. Like, just having that control, you know, is very, very important. So, I mean, I think, I mean, you can't, the other thing I want to say is you can't let anyone define you, like we were talking about earlier. I mean, I've had people that say my music, oh, awesome. And I've also had like family friends, you know, people that I thought were like cool with me, tell me my music's trash. They flat out said it. And I mean, I won't lie, it got to me for a little bit, but then I realized me reacting to what they do, they've won the battle. So I've grown from that. I saved screenshots of the good, the bad that people say, because I always look at it from time to time, you know, sitting around, just look at it, remember what people said, whether it's good, bad, and just use that to fuel me to get where I want to be. So
Yeah, no, definitely. That's amazing and that's phenomenal. I think that it's always good to like basically see how you can turn your failures into lessons and then also ultimately grow from that. And I use this one quote that I think I posted on social media yesterday. It was like, create the process and trust the process. So from your perspective, what does that mean to you as an artist and as just the overall enthusiast of your craft?
So for me, I think it kind of means, you know, going out there and go get it, go get it. No one's gonna tell you what you can and can't do, because who are they? I mean, at the end of the day, they're still listening to me. I'm getting paid from it. Like they can hate all they want. They can tell me it's garbage, but it doesn't affect me anymore. And I mean, when I lost my dad, I always thought about it. There is no pain than losing a family member, you know, especially that close. You know, there's nothing that I'm gonna go through. No one's words or anything can really make me stop now. You know, like there's no no pain like that. So that's kind of my drive and what keeps me going.
That's dope. That's dope. And I think that everybody has that piece of like motivation and inspiration that keeps them driving and keeps them going. So I definitely appreciate that, because there's so many times when I've wanted to give up and I've just like turned on some music and just listened to the words and the lyrics, and they just inspired me to keep going. So I wanted to kind of get into your studio flow now. How does that process kind of look for you when you're in the studio and you might get off of work, you had a rough day, and then but you got to knock out this track because you got a video to record tomorrow. So like, how does that creative process work for you?
So I'm kind of last minute with it. I'll go and text Nate, like, hey, you have any openings? So he'll be like, come through. So he'll come there. I used to write going into it. We used to actually go to a different studio, um, and we would always write. We'd sitting there like, we got to get this done because we're on time. You know, we're paying for this time, $50 an hour sessions and whatnot. And so we felt the pressure to get something done. But just going off a little bit of that, Nate kind of took the biggest risk of them all. He actually quit his 9 to 5 and said, I'm just gonna invest in myself. This is his job, man. He goes out there, he's built his brand. And I mean, now I kind of go in there. He's really trusted in me. He's shown his faith when other people didn't. And he'll sit there, we'll record. I'll sometimes wing it, just kind of freestyle it. I'm not the best freestyler, so it has to depend. For me, it depends on the beat. If I really feel it, then I can kind of, you know, freestyle it. If not, I'll write something. We'll write as we go. Just being authentic. I'm not going to be that person that says, hey, man, I freestyle all my stuff. Like, I'm going to be real about it. He'll let me know if he thinks I can do better. So we'll sit there. I'll be sweating. I feel like I'm in boot camp. Like another one, another one. And then if we don't get it done, we come back to it, you know, another day, and we'll hack at it. Maybe we spend three, what was it? Medusa was our that
No,
we were that
it was 4 sessions.
4 sessions. We were just going through it, minimum of 3 hours per session for what, 3 minute song. You know, people think that it's like that. It comes together like that. Only 3 minutes of, you know, your time, the listener, but all the time that goes into it, finding that beat, you know, creating the verses, the hook. Maybe something doesn't work. Like I was writing the song, we were writing it together. I tried to do the hook, and I was like, I'm not feeling this. So he hopped on there. He killed that. He killed that. I couldn't have done it, you know. So we went, and when you feel that end product, and it's something you hold on forever. You know, it's not a pair of shoes that after a while they wear out. You got to throw out. Like, that's there. It's locked in. It's out there for good. It's your work. You know, so.
That's dope, man. That's phenomenal. And I definitely, think that process is definitely revealing itself through your work, because you have the upbeat kind of songs, and then you have the kind of almost like the just kind of just smooth songs where it's just like it's you mellowing out and you just in your zone and in your vibe. But I definitely wanted to, tap into this because I know that the NBA finals just started, and I saw, when you sent me some headshots, and I was like, I had to know, man. Are you a Lakers fan?
Diehard Laker fan.
Oh, okay.
Born and raised.
Okay.
I didn't have a choice, but I loved them growing up because my dad's teams are all LA Lakers, Oakland Raiders. Well, now the Vegas Raiders.
Vegas, yeah.
LA Dodgers. My grandfather's relative played for the Dodgers. Davey Lopes. He's from East Providence. So I don't know if that played a role into why my dad liked me. So the rest of my family's all Boston teams, and we're the Laker fans. It took 10 years. I got big reasons to smile now.
Hey,
but
yeah,
I had a Laker Laker bedroom, Laker beanie babies, jerseys, shoes, everything. Kobe bobbleheads, man, all that stuff. I I could spit facts all day about them going to Minneapolis, you know, and the change, Jack Kent Cook to Jerry Buss, you know, all that. I could just go on and on. I just love the Lakers. So yeah, that's kind of why I rep a lot of LA stuff. So
That's dope, man, and that's really inspiring because, like, for someone like myself, I watch a lot of different sports, but ultimately, I was a former soccer athlete, played soccer most of my life. But for me, like Kobe Bryant was one of those inspiring and phenomenal role models in my life, where like that mama mentality would kind of help me get through the sports or the schoolwork or just any type of struggles or adversity that I was going through. So like, how did Kobe Bryant, in terms of his work ethic and his perseverance and his character, kind of play a role in your life as a lifelong like Laker fan?
give it your all, never give up. I mean, I don't. Outside the end of his career with the torn Achilles, I mean, before that man played through everything, broken fingers, like all this. Like people complain about the littlest. Oh, I pulled my muscle. I can't go do this today. I'm sorry, but that man, he gave it all for his fans, for his audience, and that's kind of what I want to do. You know, like I said earlier, you know, there were times where I thought about quitting because, you know, I was kind of bummed out with the loss of my dad, you know, all that, people telling me, you know, you can't do it, or the one, you sound like little Windex on auto tune. I took all that and just said, you know what, I'm gonna prove all these people wrong. They said pick up a book. They said do that. I already finished school. They didn't even know me. They were already making the perceptions of me. You know, I went to LaSalle Academy, one of the top private schools in Rhode Island. I went on to PC. I defied all odds. I had a major in Spanish and business management. I went out and I just did it. You know, I could have quit. I could have said, hey, you know, all my friends are doing this. You know, my parents didn't let me leave the house until I finished my homework. Oh, you want to go to your friend's house? Sorry, you gotta get this stuff done. So I would get mad. I'd sit there, but then looking back, it gave me discipline. I realized that, you know, I can't procrastinate. I gotta get these things done because then I can enjoy the rest of my day. So
That's dope, man, and that's great, and that's good. That's good to hear from someone like you, coming from just, you know, where I'm at in my life, because I actually just withdrew from some of my classes as a second year graduate student. I was just losing the passion and learning in the classroom, and I'm doing so much with my brand and my business, and just seeing the opportunities that exist. Like I'm almost tapping out right now because I have 2 degrees and I'm going for my third degree. And for me, it's just like, oh, do I really want to stay in this classroom and learn about theory when it's all, I feel like life is about practice and about the experience that you get when you apply the skills that you learn. So for me, I wanted to ask you, what is your definition of self-education and how do you use that in everyday life?
teaching yourself. Like I'm constantly studying things like what works, what doesn't work, what YouTube videos on like how to elevate your music career. They say do this, do that. I've been through things that work, things that don't work, scams, all this stuff, but I'm learning from it as I go. Nobody's perfect, you know. I started out talking about, you know, what, guns, this, all that, things that my friends, the people that know me, know that's not me. And my dad always told me, yeah, I mean, I like your music. All this is good, but try to talk about the things you've gone through. So I didn't listen then. Then, you know, all this happens and I changed my whole style. I said, you know what? Let me do it. If you look at my last few projects, I'm talking about things that, you know, people know me, you know. I used to love to party. I'm going to talk about, you know, having fun, just vibing out, good vibes. You know, I'm going to talk about my losses in life, the downs, all that stuff, all the things that, you know, hurt me. I'm going to talk about that because that's me and no one can tell me that's not, you know, I'm being real about my life and what I do.
No, and I appreciate that, man. And I think that that's something that speaks for itself. When you know, when you contacted me, when Swift referred you, I knew you came from good people. When Swift referred you, and even going back to Ted, like I know, like if you know them, I know you're good people. And so like I definitely wanted to look into your music, look into just who you are as a man. And I think that I've learned so much from just kind of watching your actions, man. And so I definitely want to first of all commend you on what you're doing right now and what you have in store, because the music is just a glimpse of the future, man. I think if you stay dedicated to the craft and you keep impacting lives like what you're doing at the 9 to 5, I think that that's something needed as well. And so like, I definitely wanted to tap into a few more questions before we kind of roll on to IG Live, but I definitely wanted to ask you, like, that sense of going to a 9 to 5 and being able to work and impact young professionals' lives that have disabilities, how does that motivate you to then go into the booth and just like kill it?
I see all the things that, I'm fortunate enough to have. And with my job, like, we hear all the time that we're the highlight of our clients' days. So for me, it's like, what I'm like, man, me just taking you out somewhere, to the park or something, and going out for maybe an hour, 2 hours or something, coming back, it means the world to them. So, and they've actually listened to my music. My job's pretty cool about that. So we had a Christmas party. They would playing my music. Everybody was hyping me up. It was cool. So I realized how much they look up to me. They had me teaching a leadership course there, and I was growing up, I was the shyest person in school. Like, I would not say a word to people. My friends outside of school, my family, all that would have, I would be outgoing there, but I would not talk. And then I just started breaking out of my shell, and music really helped me. And then I got so used to it. So for me, it's like I look at that and I'm like, I can go and talk to people and just lead them. They all look up to me. I have an influence on people. What I do, if I make a bad decision, kids that do look up to me are going to go and do that because, oh, D.Rose did that. I'm going to go and do that, So I try to set that example. That's why finishing school is important. Talking about real things that you go through and being authentic, that goes, a long way in the music. Why talk about things that I don't do and set that bad example for people?
Definitely. And I definitely respect that. And I definitely appreciate that, man. I definitely know that anything that you put your mind to, you're going to do it, man. And I know I've learned so much from just like this conversation and about, so much more about how I can actually finish and achieve the things that I put my mind to. So I really want you to, keep grinding and keep, focusing on your craft, because I think you're only going to elevate and keep going grinding from here. At 8 o'clock, we just going to jump right into the live, do like a 15-minute live. Now I'm gonna let you, get on with that recording session, man, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Appreciate it, bro. I mean, some gems, like I said, just be real to who you are. Lead, never follow. Lead, do what you need to do, no matter what anybody says. And like I said, I feel like the theme of our conversation was defining yourself. Don't let others define you. So continue to be you, be real, push yourself to be great. But just go hard, be you.
Appreciate that, boss, man. And I think that it's definitely going to speak volumes, and we definitely going to go hard for the rest of these 3 months. So I'm going to let you grab some water, man. And then like, I'm going to DM you when I'm on Instagram and I'm all set up, and then we're going to rock it out, man. We're going to
have some fun.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, bro. I'll catch you.
All right, man.